Mark, I guess it's part of this equation where we're told that the wind supplies for energy are not great because there is no wind out there. And I guess that means that the sea is flat calm.
Well, for once, yeah, we've really had a couple of months in which the weather conditions out in the Channel most of the time have been impassable for these tiny inflatable boats, and they need really flat calm conditions. There's only been a few days like that, and that means until today there was only less than 600 people who have crossed the English Channel since the new year. It was higher than that at this time last year. Today, a break in the weather conditions again, but it's only a short break, and it's changing all the time. So no break in the weather conditions tomorrow. The weather will close in again this evening. So those that want to make it across have only a few hours left for these criminal gangs to try to push them out, and they've been doing that. We've got an update on some of the figures you were mentioning there. You said 170 had made it to Kent. We can now update that, Mark, to say that 350, we understand, have made it in 7 small boats, been intercepted by Border Force in UK waters and taken here to the processing centre at Dover Harbour. In addition, there are other vessels as we speak that have been spotted and are under French escort out there in the Channel. Now, that doesn't mean that they'll make it as far as UK waters. Quite often what happens with a significant proportion of these small boats is they just don't have the steam to get right over. They run out of fuel, the currents, the tides are just too much for them, and then they end up turning back towards Calais and Dunkirk. We know of at least 1 or 2 boats that may be turning back as we speak. There was also a couple of incidents on a beach near Calais this morning where the French police were able to intervene before these small boats got into the water, punctured the small boats, and the migrants ran back into the dunes there. Of course, safe, of course, to go and try another day once they get another small boat to be able to do that. Sources had said to us at the beginning of today that possibly as many as 1,000 might attempt the crossing today. It all depends really on whether they can get and evade the law enforcement agencies on the other side, and of course whether they can get past that sort of midway point into UK waters, which, as I said, Mark, doesn't always happen because of the conditions out there.
So clearly the numbers there are still waiting and, as you say, emerging from the dunes. But our information is that the French authorities are taking some action on that other side of the Channel.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to the French, they do try, you know, perhaps not as hard as many people here would like them to be trying, but it is a very significant stretch of both beach and dunes that they have to try to patrol. If I tell you that just on Saturday, for instance, when we had another surge in migrants crossing, they were crossing from a stretch of coastline from Dunkirk right south of Boulogne to a place called Brec, which is an 80-mile stretch of coastline. Now, you need thousands of officers to properly man that coast and those dunes effectively. So it's a bit hit or miss. They try, you know, to do best intelligence work of where they think the boats might go off, but they certainly weren't expecting them to launch that far south, Mark.